Part 7. The Peaceful Garden. Love, Acceptance, and Harmony. Like the ancient garden that achieves perfect balance between wildness and cultivation, individual authenticity and collective care, seasonal change and enduring beauty, you now approach the profound work of living in complete harmony with existence itself. The journey has brought you to a place of remarkable transformation. You have learned conscious creation, sacred stewardship, intentional living, continuous growth, baseline elevation, and meaningful contribution. Through systematic baseline elevation, you created inner conditions where satisfaction flows naturally. Meaningful contribution revealed how individual growth flowers into collective service. Now you discover that beneath all sustainable contentment lies an essential element so fundamental that without it, no garden of the soul can truly flourish. This element has flowed like an underground spring through every practice, supporting every growth. Love in all its expressions, the energetic source from which authentic contentment emerges, and the natural flowering toward which all cultivation leads. Through 6 essential chapters, you will explore how love operates as both soil and harvest of the peaceful garden. You will discover true contentment that distinguishes stable inner peace from temporary happiness. Learn to navigate emotional weather, including sadness and grief. Develop wabi-sabi acceptance that finds beauty in imperfection and impermanence. Cultivate systematic appreciation that transforms worldview toward wonder, and master dynamic harmony that maintains peace through change rather than static preservation. These practices create conditions where harmony becomes not an achievement to maintain, but a natural state of being that enhances rather than depends upon external circumstances. You will learn approaches to peaceful living that avoid both spiritual bypassing and reactive approaches, instead demonstrating how inner harmony enables appropriate engagement with life's responsibilities. The peaceful garden of complete harmony awaits your patient, loving cultivation, preparing you for the ultimate flowering explored in Part 8. The heart of the garden. Love is a fundamental component of contentment. In the deepest part of the garden, where all paths eventually lead, stands the ancient wellspring from which all life flows. The master gardener knows that no matter how skillfully they tend the soil, arrange the plantings, or design the pathways, without this essential source, nothing truly flourishes. This wellspring is love, the energetic foundation beneath all authentic contentment. Walk with me into the heart of the most magnificent gardens you have ever encountered, dear friend, and I will show you something remarkable that untrained eyes often miss entirely. Beneath the obvious beauty of perfectly arranged plantings, the sophisticated design of thoughtful pathways, and the careful attention to soil preparation and pest management lies something far more fundamental. An underground spring system that feeds everything visible above ground through invisible networks of nourishment that determine whether the garden merely survives or truly thrives. The novice gardener focuses on surface elements, the correct placement of individual plants, the proper timing of fertilizer applications, the technical precision of watering schedules. They wonder why some gardens feel alive with an almost magical vitality, while others, despite identical care and superior resources, somehow lack the essential spark that transforms mere horticulture into living art that feeds the soul as well as the senses. The master gardener understands what beginning cultivators often overlook. Beneath even the richest soil lies something deeper, more essential than technique or knowledge or resources alone. This invisible source determines not just whether plants grow, but whether they flourish with the kind of integrated vitality that creates spaces of profound beauty and peace where humans naturally want to linger, reflect, and return again and again throughout changing seasons. In the garden of human contentment, this essential underground spring is love, not as sentiment or emotion that comes and goes with changing circumstances, but as the fundamental life force that enables authentic satisfaction to emerge naturally through ordinary engagement with existence, rather than requiring constant effort to maintain happiness against the natural entropy of daily challenges and disappointments. Love is the energetic foundation of all contentment. Contemporary neuroscience research reveals something ancient wisdom traditions have long understood. Sustainable well-being depends not on achieving particular external circumstances or maintaining specific emotional states, but on the quality of connection to self, to others, to meaningful purpose, and to existence itself. That creates the energetic foundation from which all other satisfaction naturally emerges. Dr. Barbara Fredrickson's groundbreaking research at the University of North Carolina demonstrates that love, understood as positive connection rather than exclusive romantic attachment, functions as the single most powerful predictor of life satisfaction, resilience, and physical health. Her studies reveal that moments of loving connection with partners, friends, children, pets, nature, or even strangers create measurable improvements in heart rhythm, variability, immune function, and stress hormone regulation that persist far beyond the immediate experience of connection itself. This research validates what the deepest wisdom of contemplative traditions has always taught. Love is not merely one emotion among others, but the fundamental frequency of consciousness that enables all other positive states to emerge and flourish. Like the underground spring that feeds an entire ecosystem, love provides the essential nourishment from which contentment, peace, and meaningful engagement naturally flow when conditions allow connection rather than forcing separation. Recognizing love's underground flow through your previous practices, the journey you have completed through conscious creation, sacred stewardship, intentional living, continuous learning, baseline elevation, and meaningful contribution has been preparing you to recognize love as the hidden source that made all these practices sustainable and transformative. Without love as foundation, techniques become mechanical exercises. With love feeding them, the same practices become expressions of natural vitality. In your conscious creation work, love provided the bridge between inspiration and implementation. When your intentions emerge from love for your authentic potential rather than ego ambition, the implementation process flowed naturally because you were working with, rather than against, life's fundamental movement toward connection and growth. In your sacred stewardship, love made resource management effortless. Rather than managing time, energy, attention, and money through willpower, love-based stewardship emerged naturally from recognition of interconnection and gratitude for abundance, provided by countless previous generations while caring for future ones. In your intentional living, love-guided self-discipline to become self-care. Intentional choices flowed naturally when guided by love for your authentic nature and compassion for the learning process that growth requires, replacing harsh perfectionism with sustainable progress. In your continuous learning, love transformed potential self-improvement pressure into joyful engagement. Learning became play rather than work when motivated by love of growth itself and appreciation for the gift of consciousness that enables development throughout life. In your baseline elevation, love created stable foundation precisely because it was built on self-appreciation rather than conditional happiness. Inner peace rooted in love remains accessible during challenging circumstances because it's based on inherent worth rather than performance. In your meaningful contribution, love enabled service to flow naturally. Individual development motivated by love for collective welfare became expression of abundance rather than obligation, emerging from loving recognition of interconnection. Long-term studies of loving-kindness meditation practitioners reveal increased gray matter density in brain regions associated with emotional processing, empathy, and stress regulation, demonstrating that love can be systematically cultivated through contemplative practices that create lasting neurological changes supporting enhanced well-being and connection capacity throughout changing life circumstances. The different expressions of love's garden ecosystem. Like a mature garden ecosystem where different plants serve various functions while contributing to overall environmental health and beauty, human love expresses itself through multiple forms that each provide unique nourishment for contentment while supporting and enhancing other love expressions through beneficial interaction rather than competition for limited resources. Understanding love as diverse ecosystem prevents the common mistake of expecting single relationships or love forms to provide all connection needs, while also revealing opportunities for love cultivation that exist throughout ordinary daily experience when approached with conscious appreciation for connection, potential rather than taking relationship gifts for granted through familiarity or busy efficiency. Romantic love is the rose garden of emotional connection. Romantic partnership, when healthy and mature, provides one of the most powerful sources of love nourishment through the unique combination of emotional intimacy, physical affection, shared meaning-making, and mutual support that creates profound sense of being known, valued, and cherished in ways that enhance individual authenticity rather than requiring performance or self-sacrifice to maintain connection. Like roses in the garden that require specific soil conditions and careful tending while providing extraordinary beauty and fragrance when properly cared for, romantic love demands attention, skill development, and ongoing cultivation while offering satisfaction and meaning that enhance all other life areas when partnership thrives through mutual growth rather than codependent neediness or competitive power struggles. Yet romantic love cannot serve as the sole source of contentment without creating unrealistic pressure on partners to provide all emotional, intellectual, social, and spiritual needs that humans require for optimal flourishing. Like gardens dependent on single plant species that become vulnerable to disease or environmental stress, contentment systems, dependent exclusively on romantic relationships, often experience crisis when partnerships face natural challenges or developmental changes. Healthy romantic love enhances rather than replaces other love forms while providing unique gifts including physical affection, sexual intimacy, domestic partnership, and shared life vision that contribute to contentment, ecosystem health without overwhelming other relationship needs or creating isolation from broader social connection and community engagement. Familial love as the heritage trees of deep-rootedness. Family relationships, whether biological or chosen, provide love nourishment through the unique combination of unconditional acceptance, shared history, mutual support, and generational wisdom that creates profound sense of belonging and rootedness that enhances individual development rather than constraining authentic self-expression through obligation or guilt. Like heritage trees in established gardens that provide structural foundation, seasonal beauty, and ecological stability through decades of growth while adapting to changing environmental conditions, healthy family relationships offer enduring connection that survives conflict, disappointment, and change while deepening rather than diminishing through time and shared experience. Family love often requires the most sophisticated cultivation skills because family relationships involve people who know our weaknesses and trigger patterns while also carrying historical wounds, unresolved conflicts, and different values or lifestyle choices that can create tension requiring forgiveness, boundary setting, and conscious communication to maintain connection without sacrificing individual authenticity or well-being. Yet when family relationships achieve healthy dynamics through patient work and mutual respect, they provide irreplaceable nourishment, including sense of historical continuity, unconditional belonging, shared celebration of achievements and milestones, and practical support during challenging life transitions that enhance contentment through security and meaning that extends beyond individual accomplishment. Platonic love as the companion. Plannings of mutual enhancement. Friendship provides love nourishment through the unique combination of chosen affection, shared interests, mutual encouragement, and reciprocal support that creates profound satisfaction through connection based on appreciation rather than obligation, compatibility rather than necessity, and growth-oriented interaction rather than maintenance of established patterns. Like companion plants in the garden that enhance each other's growth through beneficial root interactions, pest protection, and soil improvement while maintaining individual characteristics. Healthy friendships create mutual enhancement where each person's authentic development supports rather than threatens the relationship, while individual differences contribute to shared learning and expanded perspective. Quality friendships offer love expression through generous attention, honest communication, shared activities, emotional support during difficulties, celebration during successes, and the profound gift of being seen and appreciated for authentic qualities rather than roles or functions that serve others' needs at expense of genuine self-expression. The cultivation of deep friendship requires skill development, including vulnerability, capacity, conflict resolution, reciprocal generosity, and the ability to maintain connection through changing life circumstances, geographic distance, or evolving interests and priorities that test relationship strength while providing opportunities for deeper commitment and more sophisticated love expression. Self-love as soil preparation for all other love. Self-love represents the foundational preparation work that enables all other love expressions to flourish, rather than drain, give rather than deplete, and enhance rather than compromise individual well-being through generous engagement that emerges from abundance rather than neediness or unconscious attempts to receive through giving what cannot be sustainably provided by others alone. Like soil preparation that creates optimal growing conditions for whatever seeds are planted, self-love involves developing internal capacity for self-acceptance, self-care, emotional regulation, and authentic self-expression that provides stable foundation for relationship engagement without requiring others to compensate for internal deficiencies or maintain individual emotional stability through constant reassurance and attention. Self-love as contentment foundation includes treating yourself with kindness during mistakes and failures, maintaining appropriate boundaries that honor personal needs and values, engaging in activities that restore rather than deplete energy, developing skills and interests that provide intrinsic satisfaction, and cultivating internal appreciation for unique gifts in life journey rather than depending on external validation for self-worth maintenance. This internal foundation work enables generous love expression toward others without keeping score, creating emotional safety for authentic vulnerability, maintaining individual identity within intimate relationships, and offering support and encouragement from genuine care rather than unconscious attempts to control others' responses or secure reciprocal treatment through manipulative generosity. Love of life and experiences garden appreciation practice beyond interpersonal love lies the broader capacity for loving engagement with existence itself, the appreciation, wonder, and gratitude that transform ordinary experience into opportunities for connection with beauty, meaning, and mystery that exist independently of social relationships, while enhancing capacity for human connection through expanded perspective and appreciation that benefits all interactions. This love expression includes the wonder cultivation practices explored in previous chapters, now revealed as love expressions: fascination with natural processes, appreciation for human creativity and resilience, gratitude for sensory experience and conscious awareness, and recognition of interconnection and mystery that characterizes existence at every level from cellular to cosmic. Love of life prevents contentment from depending exclusively on social relationships while providing consistent access to satisfaction through engagement with daily experience approached with conscious appreciation rather than taking existence gifts for granted through familiarity or efficiency, focus that misses beauty and meaning available through present moment awareness. The sacred relationship between gratitude and love. Throughout your contentment cultivation journey, gratitude practices have provided powerful tools for baseline satisfaction enhancement through systematic appreciation of available resources, relationship gifts, natural beauty, and life opportunities that exist within current circumstances, rather than requiring dramatic change or achievement completion to access satisfaction. Yet gratitude and love operate as intimately related but distinct aspects of contentment consciousness, where gratitude functions as recognition, capacity that notices value, beauty, and gift, while love represents the deeper embrace that receives, cherishes, and responds to what gratitude reveals through active engagement rather than merely mental acknowledgement. This love is both feeling and practice. Understanding love as both spontaneous feeling and cultivatable practice prevents the common mistake of waiting for love to arrive before contentment becomes possible, while also avoiding the artificial forcing of loving feelings that cannot be sustained through willpower alone. Like master gardeners who work with rather than against natural processes, love cultivation involves creating conditions where connection naturally emerges, rather than demanding that affection appear on a schedule. The feeling dimension of love includes the spontaneous warmth, appreciation, care, and connection that arise naturally in healthy relationships, beautiful environments, meaningful activities, and moments of wonder or gratitude. These experiences provide powerful nourishment for contentment while revealing love's essential nature as recognition of value, beauty, and interconnection that exists independently of personal benefit or convenience. The practice dimension involves behavioral expressions of care, attention, generosity, and appreciation that cultivate rather than depend upon loving feelings. This practice approach enables love expression even during periods when spontaneous affection feels blocked by stress, disappointment, conflict, or emotional depletion that temporarily interferes with natural connection capacity. Daily love recognition, concrete manifestation practices. To strengthen your recognition of love as contentment foundation, these practices help identify how love already flows through your ordinary experience while creating conditions for expanded love awareness and expression. Morning Love Foundation. Check. Begin each day with this three-part assessment. Love received. What expressions of care, support, or thoughtfulness am I receiving today? This might include prepared food, maintained infrastructure, family presence, pet affection, or natural beauty available through your surroundings. Love opportunity. How can my activities today express care for myself, others, or collective well-being? Through competent work, kind interactions, environmental stewardship, or community contribution. Love recognition. What aspects of my current life reflect successful cultivation of love-based contentment foundation? Notice areas where appreciation, connection, and generosity flow naturally. Workplace love detection practice. Throughout professional activities, practice recognizing love expressions typically invisible beneath business efficiency. Colleagues maintaining equipment for collective safety, practical love for community welfare. Supervisors providing clear communication, care for collective success. Your competent work performance, love for professional integrity and community service. Infrastructure, enabling effective work, love from countless unknown contributors. Evening, love in integration review. Before sleep, complete this reflection. How did my choices today express or restrict love's flow through my relationships and responses? When did love-based motivation create natural ease in activities versus when did ego-based motivation create struggle? What opportunities for love expression did I notice but not act upon? Where did loving attention enhance ordinary activities into sources of satisfaction? Progress recognition. Markers. As love foundation strengthens, notice. Increased natural generosity without keeping score. Reduced sense of isolation or being unsupported. Greater motivation for contribution and service. Enhanced appreciation for ordinary circumstances. More stable contentment during challenging periods. Love presence assessment exercises. The Love Detective Week. For 7 days, approach daily activities as investigation into love's movement through ordinary circumstances. Infrastructure love. Notice systems supporting your life. Roads, utilities, emergency services. Maintained by people expressing care for community welfare. Cultural love. Appreciate human creative expressions. Art, music, literature, architecture. Created by people expressing love of beauty and meaning. Natural love. Recognize care expressed through gardening, environmental stewardship, and natural systems maintaining conditions for life. Keep a simple daily log of love sightings, including both obvious expressions, family affection, friendship support, and subtle expressions. Strangers following traffic laws for mutual safety, store clerks providing helpful service. Self-love current assessment. Complete weekly to track development. Physical care. Do my food, rest, and activity choices reflect genuine care for the body, enabling all other experiences? Internal dialogue. Do I speak to myself with kindness I would offer a beloved friend facing similar challenges? Authentic expression. Does my life allow genuine self-expression or primarily adaptation to others' expectations? Boundary maintenance. Can I protect my energy and values while remaining open to genuine service opportunities? Growth appreciation. Do I appreciate my developmental journey, including mistakes and limitations as part of learning process? Troubleshooting common love recognition obstacles. I don't feel loving toward difficult people in my life. Love doesn't require liking everyone's behavior or maintaining close relationships with harmful people. Love toward difficult people even means maintaining basic respect for their humanity while protecting yourself appropriately and hoping for their eventual growth without taking responsibility for creating these outcomes. Practice loving kindness meditation for difficult people by wishing them happiness and freedom from suffering while maintaining appropriate boundaries. Self-love feels selfish when others have greater needs. Authentic self-love creates capacity for sustainable service rather than competing with care for others. When self-love is absent, attempts to help others often emerge from neediness, creating dependency rather than empowerment, or from obligation leading to resentment and burnout. Self-care enables generous service from abundance rather than depletion. Love seems irrelevant to practical problems like financial stress or health challenges. Love provides emotional and spiritual foundation, enabling skillful response to practical difficulties. Financial problems require practical solutions implemented from emotional stability that love provides. Health challenges require medical attention supported by self-compassion and community connections, sustaining hope during treatment. Love doesn't solve problems, but creates inner resources for effective problem solving. I don't feel connected to love of life when experiencing depression or anxiety. During emotional difficulty, love of life may be temporarily inaccessible at its direct experience, but can be maintained as intention and practice. Focus on smallest available expressions, appreciation for single breaths, gratitude for basic physical functions, recognition of support systems even when feelings are unavailable. Love of life often returns gradually through consistent small practices rather than sudden emotional shifts. Preparing for the garden of true contentment. As you deepen recognition of love as your contentment wellspring, you prepare for exploring how this foundation enables something remarkable, a quality of inner peace that enhances rather than competes with care for others. In our next chapter, we will discover the nature of true contentment that distinguishes stable inner satisfaction from temporary happiness, while revealing how individual peace naturally supports authentic engagement with collective welfare. The ancient wellspring in your heart has been flowing throughout your entire journey of conscious cultivation. You have learned to recognize its presence, appreciate its diverse expressions, and create conditions for its continued flow through daily life. Now you will explore how love-rooted contentment creates the foundation for harmonious living that serves both personal authenticity and community flourishing, preparing you for the emotional weather navigation, acceptance practices, appreciation, consciousness, and dynamic integration that complete your peaceful garden and cultivation. In love, you have found not just another technique for happiness, but the fundamental frequency of consciousness from which authentic contentment naturally emerges. The peaceful garden ahead becomes possible through this recognition, where harmony flows not from perfect circumstances, but from the loving awareness that recognizes connection, beauty, and purpose within whatever conditions existence provides through its infinite generosity.